You don't need to service this car for 18 months to 2 years with this oil. Never ever put more oil than the top mark. Today, we're going to do an oil change and a filter change on a 2015 VW Passat. We're going to go through the process of securing the car, lifting the car, changing the oil filter, and the processes involved in that. Normally, you have the oil filter. Some cars, you've got it at the top. Can't see it on this one. So let's have a look. We're going to have to have a look at it. So what we're going to need, some basic tools to start with. Got a crawler to crawl under the car. You're going to get under the car. Don't want to use a jack like this. This is just for changing the tire, not for getting under the car. These are very unreliable. You don't want to be under a car with one of these because they slip and fall. So it's always a good idea to get yourself a portable trolley jack, which is very handy. Never rely on just a jack. You always need some extra support. So you need some jack stands. You may also need, depending on the type of oil filter you've got, especially if it's a cartridge one, you're going to need a set of oil filter sockets to open up the oil filter. You got the old metal oil filters. You're going to need a different type of the oil filter removal. And of course, it's always good to have a set of tools to take off all the nuts and bolts. So first, let's jack up the car. You're going to need to find your jacking point. It's normally in your manual. And these cars, it's normally down here somewhere. There's a piece of metal which is thicker than the rest of the car. So it's about this much. Well, we'll have a little closer look when we get underneath it. So that's been jacked up. Now to get the stand, you need to put it on a secure area. Once you found a secure area, you lower the jack down onto the stand. So now we're going to get under the car and see if we can find where the oil filter is. This car has an underskirt, so it's basically some plastic which you need to remove to get access to the oil filter. And hey presto, we've got the cover off. Okay, so we're under the car and we're trying to find the location for the oil filter, and we just found it here. So it's a little bit harder to access. But before we can take the oil filter off, we're going to have to take the oil out of the car. Here's the socket to get the oil out of the car. At the sump, we've got to remove that bolt. We're going to need something to collect the oil, and this container will catch the oil and store the oil. I've got myself a 19mm socket, and we're going to get under there and we're going to take the oil out. So I'm going to start opening the sump bolt. I'm opening the sump bolt, and the oil is very hot right at the moment. So ideally you should let the car cool down for an hour or so. But today we're just going to go with it. There it comes. Okay, so while we're letting that drip out, we're going to make a move on the oil filter housing. So today we've actually purchased a genuine oil filter. Now it's the cartridge type, so you have to take off the original housing for it, and you got this in there. And to do it, we're going to need one of these sockets. So we're going to get underneath and find out which one of these it needs. Here is the oil clip. It's in such a awkward place. I've had to move this cable out of the way and unclip the cable from this side as well. Okay, to get to this housing, this oil filter housing. And it needs this socket, which is a 3/8 or 32 mil. It's a 32 mil socket that needs to go onto there. So let me put it onto the ratchet first. On this one is the flat end that side and the grooved end at the bottom. So it's going in this way.
So how often do we change engine oil?
Well, the manufacturer normally says every 12 months or 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. Manufacturers, they like to do oil changes on a long life basis, so 18 months or 2 years, so that they don't have to do so many oil changes while it's in the warranty period. But if you can change your oil at 10,000 or less, then you're saving your engine. It keeps it clean, gets rid of the contaminants, and your engine will last a lot longer. Next thing to do is to get the new oil filter ready back in the house. So in the box, you get your filter, and you also get new seals, rubber seals. Right, and then we need something to prise off the rubber seal. Remember what groove it's going in. Okay, so it's not right at the bottom, it's in the first big groove here. There you have it. So that's off. New seal. There we go. Okay, next, the oil filter. Remember the bottom bit? The bottom bit will click into the housing. There you go. Clicked into place. So that is now ready to go back in. Sometimes it's a good idea to put a film of oil around the edge of the rubber seal, so that when you put it on and you squeeze it and you tighten it, it'll slip on nicely and it won't be loose. So a little bit of oil. So this owner likes to get original oil. He's actually gone for long life oil. So you don't need to service this car for 18 months to 2 years with this oil. Right, the next thing is to fill the car with oil. So find the correct location. Normally on top of the engine. Oil needs to be added gradually so that you don't overfill it. Now, I don't know what the spec is for this car. It's normally between 4 liters and 5 liters. So we know roughly where we are. But on this one, it's between 4 and 5 liters. So we've got 5 liters to put in. So you filled it up to a certain point, let it go down, and then we will check what level we are at. Let's have a look. Nope, there's no oil on it still. So more. It's actually hit the bottom now. You just see it's on the bottom level. The oil needs to be in between this level and this level. The lowest level to the highest level can be anywhere in between. Right, the oil level is now half, at the half mark point. But remember, the car is still tilted up, so when you put the car down, it'll probably go up a bit more. Yeah, all right, give it a stop.
If you all like.
Do you log on it?
Yes, if I had it.
There's no oil light, yeah?
No lah.
There's no oil line, good.
Alright. So now we're going to go under the car and have a look for some oil leaks. Hopefully there's no oil leaking.
Just give it a nice clean so that if there are any oil leaks, you can see them. We ran the engine. Oil has gone all around the engine. So now we're going to check the level as well. So the level may have gone down now. Yeah, it's really at the bottom level. So we're going to give it a minute or two for the oil to settle down, and then we're going to check it properly. And then we're going to have to add some more oil. So while we wait for the oil to settle, and now that there are no leaks, we are going to put this underskirt back on. Now that the car is on level ground, we can recheck the level and see where we are. Okay, it's at the 1/3 mark, so we need to go up to about here. So we're going to need some more oil. Okay, now we are at the half mark, so we can go up a little bit more. So now we're going to check the oil one more time. It should be right at the top. And as we can see, the oil is just below the top mark. So we are nice and full. Never ever put more oil than the top mark. If it goes above it, you have a chance of destroying your catalytic converter. The oil gets into that and destroys it, and your sensors and everything else. So it's very important that you don't overfill the oil. And we're good to go. Lovely. Okay, bullet points. Most important, make sure the car is secure as you're jacking up. Make sure you've got a jack stand underneath. Put some cardboard down to stop the oil from going everywhere. Always make sure the oil that you use is recommended by the manufacturer. It has a specification. If you put the wrong oil in, it can damage the DPF filter and clog that over time. Put the oil in slowly, check it, put some more in, check it until you're at the correct level. And that's about it, really.